Hi everybody. I wanted to talk to you about Saturday. I had talked to you about Friday, fishing, the drop shot. My wife and I went back out there Saturday, had just a great day. The bite was really good, and the bite's getting better and better out there at Nacimiento. Usually I like to stop by the lake, run my closing video, but it was getting warm out there. My wife and I were pretty tired, so we decided to come on home. When we first got there in the morning, we had good wind. Now wind creates current on top of the water, so we hit an area not far from where we launched, which is called a flat. Now what a flat is when you've got water that's coming, when you've got flat land that's coming into the water and it just remains flat for a long ways out. In fact, it can look like somebody's fishing out in the middle of the lake when they may be only in 4 or 5 foot of water. That's called a flat. It's a known place to hold bass. Now with that wind current, we started with the top water. Nothing happened with that. I think it was too choppy. They didn't see it. So I went to a square bill. Now a square bill crankbait is a shallow crankbait. It goes 2 to 5 feet. I'm fishing in about 6 to 7 foot of water, so I want this thing to be either right under the surface or right along the middle of the water column. And what happened is that they could see this better than they saw a top water because there was too much chop. And I wound up catching quite a few fish on this square bill. The cool thing about a square bill, or any style of crankbait, the bill really dictates how deep it goes. This one here will go about 15 feet deep. This is a storm wigglewort. They usually go 8 to 10 feet. But some of these big ones, like this one here, will go like 18 to 20 feet. This one here will go up to 25 feet down. So it really depends on the depth. I wanted to remain shallow. And the cool thing about a crankbait like this is you just cast it out and reel it back in, and the bass go after it. Big, probably about 2 pound spotted bass on a crankbait early in the morning. Yeah. Now we left that area. The bite had finally died down. So I hit a little cove where I wanted to stop and retie some baits. I had some ideas I wanted to try. So my wife, who's getting really good at knowing where fish is, she found some little logs in the water and she started just throwing this little crappie jig, and she got her like 5 crappie in a row. And crappie are a lot of fun to catch.
This one's bigger.
Big crappie.
Good job, buddy.
So we eventually move out to there and we get onto another flat. It's a little later in the morning. Things have slowed down quite a bit. Now my wife has a strength that I don't have. It's called patience. She is a super patient person. In fact, she's so patient, it makes me impatient because she's so patient. I'm not sure if you get that, but maybe you do. Of course, one of my wife's favorite baits is going to be the Ned rig. Now the Ned rig is something I reserve later in the day when I can't get him to bite on anything else. My wife will fish this thing all day long. She'll fish her limit maker because these are baits she has a ton of confidence in, and she is a super good finesse fisherman, which again, requires a lot of patience. Now the biggest mistake that people make about the Ned rig is they think it only catches small fish. That's not true.
You got another catfish. Or did you? I'd laugh if you got another catfish. That's bigger.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh, there's about a 3 pounder for you.
Yeah, baby.
There you go.
Oh man, he's heavy. Look at that.
That's good. About 3 pounds.
Look at this, people. Woo! Mama did it. He sure fought me though.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't want to come in.
Good to see the big fish coming back again.
Yeah. I wish we had a scale. He's pretty heavy.
He's about 3 pounds.
Okay, bye. Oh wait, you get a kiss.
So we're coming toward the end of the day, and I decided let's go back to the area where we started first thing in the morning. And of course, that's where I started to work the drop shot that I talked about on Friday. Now here's the thing about the drop shot. You can work it multiple ways, but 2 ways that I like to work it the best is to cast it out and then just slowly start bringing it back in. The biggest spotted bass I've ever caught at Nacimiento was over 5 pounds. It was in the spring. It was off I was bank fishing right off one of the campsites, and I caught my biggest bass on a drop shot. If you're a bank fisherman, goodness gracious, learn a drop shot. This is a great bank fishing bait. But throw it out there and then slowly bring it back. You're gonna catch fish.
Where are you out fighting those things?
That's why these guys are so much fun. They fight so hard. We love them.
Now the other way to fish a drop shot is I'm on the trolling motor and I'm heading toward a point that I see. My wife's looking at the fish finder. She tells me right underneath us, about 6 to 8 feet, is a little hump. It's like an underwater hill. It goes from about, this one here went probably from about 8 to 4 feet. On top of that hump was a lot of fish. One of my favorite ways to throw a drop shot, and it really, of course, it works really well out of a boat, but one of my favorite ways is to vertically fish a drop shot. I've caught fish out there at Nasi up to 55 feet, just dropping it straight down to them. And that's all you do. You drop the bait straight down to them, and you just slowly move the bait, and you're gonna catch fish.
There he is. Vertical drop shotting. Right under the boat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I hope these videos help you out. There's just some quick tips. There's a lot of other ways to fish a square bill. When I fish it that way, I'm going to do a video on it. And of course, as we get more and more into summer, it's going to be a lot of top waters. I'm going to be using some deep diving crankbaits. There's just going to be a lot of stuff. And I hope it benefits you. I hope you get into bass fishing. And if you're already in bass fishing, you know what I'm talking about. I'll be out there this weekend fishing again, trying out some new baits. Hopefully, I'm going to get to share those with you. Talk to you soon.